Morning. Welcome to the stream. My name is Steven. I bake bagels. Hello. Anyways.
That was okay. Yeah.
Hamlin Towns in Brunswick, my famous Hanover city. The River Weser, deep and wide, washes its wall on the southern side. A pleasanter spot you've never spied. But when begins my ditty, almost 500 years ago, to see the townsfolk suffer so from vermin was a pity. Rats, they fought the dogs and killed the cats, and bit the babies in the cradles, and ate the cheeses from the vats, and licked the soup from the cook's own ladles, split open the kegs of salted sprats, made nests in the men's Sunday hats, and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning out their speaking, shrieking and squeaking in 50 different sharps and flats. At last the people in a body to the town hall came flocking. "'Tis clear," cried they, "our mayor is a naughty, and as for our corporation, shocking, to think we'd buy gowns lined with ermine, for dolts who can't or won't determine what's best to rid us of our vermin. You hope because you're old and obese to find in the furry civic road skis. Rouse up, sirs, give your brains a racking, to find the remedy we are lacking, for sure as fate will send you packing." At this the mayor and corporation quaked with a mighty consternation. An hour they sat in council. At length the mayor broke silence. "For a guilder eyed my ermine gown sell. I wish I were a mile hence. It's easy to bid one rack one's brain. I'm sure my poor head aches again. I scratch it so, but all in vain. Oh, for a trap, a trap, a trap." Just he said this, what should hap? At the chamber door but a gentle tap. "Bless us," cried the mayor, "what's that?" With the corporation as he sat, looking little through wondrous fat. Nor brighter were his eyes, nor moister, than a too long opened oyster. Save when at noon his paunch grew mutinous, for a plate of turtle green and glutinous. Only a scraping of shoes on a mat, anything like the sound of a rat makes my heart go pit-a-pat. "Come in," cried the mayor, looking bigger, and in did come the strangest figure. His long queer coat from heel to head was half yellow and half red, and he himself was tall and thin, with sharp blue eyes, each like a pin, and light loose hair and swarthy skin, nor tuft of hair on cheek nor beard on chin, but lips or smile went out and in. There is no guessing his kith or kin, and nobody could enough admire this tall man in his quaint attire. Quoth one, "It's as my great-grandsire, starting up at the trump of doom's tone, had walked this way from his painted tombstone." He advanced towards the council table, and "Please, your honor," said he, "I am able, by means of secret charm to draw, all the creatures living beneath the sun, the crawl or swim or fly or run, after me so as you never saw. And I chiefly use my charm on creatures that do people harm, the mole and toad and newt and viper, and people call me the Pied Piper." And here they noticed round his neck a scarf of red and yellow stripe, to match with his coat of self-same check. And at scarf's end hung a pipe, and his fingers they noticed were ever straying, as if impatient to be playing upon this pipe, as low it dangled over his vesture so old-fangled. "Yes," said he, "Pied Piper as I am, in Tartaria I bred the cam, last week of this huge swarms of gnats. I eased an Asian and I am, a monstrous brood of vampire bats. And as to what your brain bewilders, if I rid your town of rats, will you give me 1,000 guilders?" 50,000 was the exclamation of astonished mayor and corporation. Into the street the piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic slept in his quiet pipe the while. Like a musical adept to blow his pipe, his lips he wrinkled, and green and blue his sharp eyes twinkled, like a candle flame where salt is sprinkled. And ere 3 shrill notes the pipe uttered, you heard as if an army muttered, and a muttering grew to a grumbling, and a grumbling grew to a mighty rumbling, and out of the houses came the rats tumbling. Great rats, small rats, lean rats, brawny rats, brown rats, black rats, gray rats, tawny rats, grave old plotters, gay young friskers, fathers, mothers, uncles, cousins, cocking tails and pricking whiskers, families by tens and dozens, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, followed the Pied Piper for their lives. From street to street he piped advancing, and step for step they followed dancing, until they came to the River Weser, wherein all plunged and perished, save one who stout as Julius Caesar, swam across and lived to carry, as he the manuscript he cherished, to Ratland home his commentary. which was at first shrill notes of the pipe. I heard a sound as of scraping tripe, and putting apples wondrous ripe into the cider presses gripe, and moving a whip pickle tubboards, and leaving a jar of conserve cupboards, and drawing the corks of train oil flasks, and breaking hoops of butter casks. It seemed as if a voice, sweeter far than by harp or by psalter's breed, called out, "Oh, rats, rejoice! The world is growing to a vast recitalry. So munch on, crunch on, take your nunch on, breakfast, supper, dinner, lunch on, and just a bulky sugar punch on, already staved like a great sun shone, gracious scarce an inch before me, just as me thought it said come bore me, I found the west rolling over me." You should have heard the Hamlin people ring the bells, they rock the steeple. "Go," cried the mayor, "get long poles, poke with an ass and block up the holes, consult with carpenters and builders, leave in our town not even a trace of the rats." When suddenly up the face of the piper perked in the marketplace, "The first, if you please, my 1,000 guilders." 1,000 guilders? The mayor looked blue, so did the corporation too, for count's dinners made rare havoc with Claret, Moselle, Vin de Grave, Hawk, and half the money would replenish their cellar's biggest butt of Rhenish, to pay this sum to a wondering fellow, with gypsy coat of red and yellow. "Besides," quoth the mayor with a knowing wink, "our business was done at the river's brink. We saw with our eyes the vermin sink, and what's dead can't come to life, I think. So, friend, we're not folks to shrink from our duty of giving you something to drink. And a matter of money put in your poke, but as for the guilders, what we spoke of them, as you well know, wasn't joke. Besides, your losses have made us thrifty. 1,000 guilders, come, take 50. The piper's face fell and he cried, "No trifling, I can't wait beside. I've promised to visit by dinner time Baghdad, and accept the prime of the head cook's pottage. All he's rich in, for having left in the caliph's kitchen, of a nest of scorpions no survivor. With him I proved no bargain driver. With you don't think I'll bait a stiver, and folks who put me in a passion may find me pipe after another fashion." "How," cried the mayor, "do you think I brook, being worse treated than a cook, insulted by a rival, with idle pipe and vegetable? Threaten us, fellow, do your worst, blow your pipe there till you burst." Once more he stepped into the street, and to his lips again laid his long pipe of smooth straight cane, and ere he blew 3 notes, such sweet soft notes as yet musicians cunning never gave the enraptured air. There was a rustling that seemed like a bustling, a merry crowd adjusting and pitching and hustling, small feet were pattering, wooden shoes clattering, little hands clapping, little tongues chattering, like foals in a farm where barley is scattering. Out came the children running, all the little boys and girls, with rosy cheeks and flaxen curls, and sparkling eyes and teeth like pearls, tripping and skipping around merrily after, the wonderful music with shouting and laughter. The mayor was dumb, and the council stood, as if they're changed to blocks of wood, unable to move a step or cry, to the children merrily skipping by. Could only follow with an eye, that joyous count at the piper's back, and how the mayor was on the rack, and the wretched council's bosom beat, as the piper turned from the high street, to where the west had rolled its waters, right in the way of their sons and daughters. However, he turned from south to west, and to Copperberg Hill his steps addressed, and after him the children pressed, great was the joy in every breast. He never crossed the mighty top, he's forced to let the piping drop, and we shall see our children stop. When lo, they reached the mountainside, a wondrous portal opened wide, as if a cavern was suddenly hollowed. The piper advanced, and the children followed. When all were in to the very last, the door in the mountainside shut fast. Did I say all? No, one was lame, and could not dance a whole of the way. And in after years, if you blame the sadness, he was used to stay. It's dull in our town since my playmates left. I can't forget that I'm bereft of all the pleasant sights they see, which the piper also promised me. Before he led us, he said, to a joyous land, joining the town at just at hand, where waters gushed and trees grew, and flowers were forth a fairer hue, and everything was strange and new. The sparrow is bright and a peacock here, their dogs are around our fallow deer, and honeybees had lost their stings, and horses were born with eagle's wings. And just as I became assured, my lame foot be speedily cured. The music stopped, and I stood still, found myself outside the hill, left behind against my will, to go now limping as before, and never hear of that country more. Alas, alas, for Hamelin, there came into many a burgher's pate a text which says that heaven's gate opes the rich at his easy rate, as a needle's eye takes a camel in. The mayor sent east, west, north, and south to offer the piper by word of mouth, wherever was men's lot to find him, silver and gold to his heart's content, if only he'd return the way he went, and bring the children behind him. But when they saw 'twas lost endeavor, and piper and dancers were gone forever, they made a decree that lawyers never should take their records dated duly, if after the day of the month and year, these words do not as well appear. And so long after what happened here, on the 22nd of July, 1376, in the better memory to fix the place of the children's last retreat, they called it the Pied Piper Street, where anyone playing pipe or tabor was sure for his future lose his labor, nor suffered they hostler or tavern to shock with mirth a street so solemn, and opposite the place of the cavern, they wrote the story on a column, and on great church window painted, the same to make the world acquainted, how their children were stolen away, and there it stands this very day. And I must not admit to say, in Transylvania there is a tribe of alien people who ascribe the way to dress in which their neighbors lay such stress to their fathers and mothers having risen out of some subterranean prison into which they were Japan a long time ago in a mighty band out of Hamlin towns in Brunswick land, but how or why they don't understand. So, Lily, let me and you be wipers of scores out with all men, especially pipers. And if they should pipe us free from rats, from mice, if we promise not, let us keep our promise. Nobody's watching. There was once a young man named Roland Pye who played the recorder when he wasn't baking bagels. One day he was walking through the park and playing his recorder to rest a while from all his baking, when suddenly he spied a corpse lying on the ground beneath a swarm of flies. He put down his recorder, walked over to the corpse, shooed the flies away, and covered the dead man with stones. Returning to his oven later that day, he found that his oven blade had gone on by itself and already baked half the bagels he needed. From that day on, Roland Pye was the happiest baker alive. He'd bake until he was tired. Then he'd pull his recorder out of his pocket while his oven blade went on by itself. But Roland Pye lived in a town whose mayor did not admire his skill and was jealous of his fame. So the mayor devised a plan to rid the town of Roland. In the beginning, he said that Roland was a good worker, but lazy. Next, he said that Roland baked a whole lot, but badly. Then he accused Roland of being a sorcerer, and the people turned on him. Therefore, Roland Pye took his recorder and left his home behind. When Roland Pye came to a neighboring town, he went to all the business owners, but none of them would give him any work. Finally, he met an old busker and asked him for work to keep body and mind together. "Come along with me," said the old man, "and we will share alms." So Roland Pye, the old man, started going around and singing, "Baker, why do you bear those silent things? Baker, how did you forget to stand where your feet are? Baker, no woman loves your wealth, although it is golden and good for health. Baker, you are too dirty for a lover to wish to preen. Your limbs are the knots and cords of an old-fashioned machine. Baker, line the rings and bash the boards. You don't need their applause for a thing that is yours. You are a baker, and are what you are, not by a miracle, but by the work of your arms. Baker, be who you are." Everybody gave alms to the old man, but to Roland they said, "When's a young man like you out begging? Why don't you work for a living?" "Nobody will hire me," replied Roland Pye. "That's what you say. There's a king with so many hungry soldiers that he'll pay good wages to anyone willing to feed them." So Roland Pye went to the king's kitchen, took the old man whose alms he'd been sharing. The oven had never been used by anyone. Roland mixed the dough, then he rolled it into rings, then he boiled them, dressed them with seeds, and baked them until they're golden brown. Then he tossed them into a crate to cool down. Whenever Roland wearied of baking, he'd play his recorder, and once he was weary of playing his recorder, he would sing, "Baker, why do you bear those silent things? Baker, how did you forget to stand where your feet are? Baker, no woman loves your wealth, although it is golden and good for her health. Baker, you are too dirty for a lover to wish to preen. Your limbs are the knots and cords of an old-fashioned machine. Baker, line the rings and bash the boards. You don't need their applause for a thing that is yours. You are a baker, and are what you are, not by a miracle, but by the work of your arms. Baker, be who you are." Hearing the singing, a princess looked out the window. She saw Roland Pye and fell in love with him. But she was a princess, and he a baker. The king would never consent to their marriage. So they decided to run away together. They fled at night in a boat. When they were already on the high seas, Roland remembered the busker. He said to his beloved, "We must fetch the old man, since he shared his alms with me. We can't go off and leave him like that." At that very moment, the old man came up behind the boat, walking on the water as though it had been dry land. Reaching the boat, he said, "We agreed to divide everything we had, and I shared everything I own. Now you have the king's daughter, and must give half of her to me." At this, he gave Roland Pye a knife to cut his bride in two. Roland Pye took the knife with a trembling hand. "You are right," he said. "You are perfectly right." He was on the point of cutting his bride in half, when suddenly the old man stopped him. "Stop! I knew you were a just man. I'm the dead man, mind you, whom you covered with stones. Go now, and may the two of you always be happy. At this, the old man walked away on the waves. The boat came to an island rich in all good things, with a princely palace awaiting the newlyweds. The end. I was Roland Pine in the Oven Blade. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for watching. I'm baking bagels, if you're wondering, and telling stories, reciting poetry, playing music once in a while, occasionally. Whenever I'm not wearing gloves, I guess. I'll play some music if I can. Some Bach or some Handel, or who else do I know? Actually, most of the songs I know are by Bach and Handel. Yeah. Almost all of them are. Wow. Hello. 2 people are watching now. Welcome to the stream. I'm at a different location today. So the angle of the camera is a little bit different. The oven's different. Everything's different, really, except for me. But yeah, maybe you can see in the oven a little bit better. Or maybe I'll show you more of the oven here. I guess that's all you really can see. Slightly better angle. I don't know. You really can't see what I'm doing in the oven very well, but hold on. Here we go. Got 2 batches in the oven. 1 sesame, 1 poppy seed. Another one in the pot. I need to have a speaker and I can play some music or something in the background. Fortunately, I do not have that. Let's flip these onto the deck. I should turn this into an ASMR stream, eh? Oh, my viewer left me all alone again. My first thought was he lied in every word, that hoary cripple with malicious eye, askance to watch the working of his lie on mine, a mouth scarce able to afford suppression of the glee that first and scored its edge at one more victim gained thereby. What else should he be set for with his staff? What saved waylay with his lies and snare all travelers who might find him posted there? And asked the road, I guessed what skull-like laugh would break, what crutchkin rang my epitaph or pastime in the dusty thoroughfare. If at his counsel I should turn aside into ominous track which all agree hides the dark power, yet acquiescently I deterred as he pointed, neither pride nor hope rekindling at the end descried, so much as gladness an end might be. For what with my whole world wide wondering, what with my search drawn out through years, my hope dwindled into a ghost not fit to cope with that obstreperous joy success would bring. I hardly tried now to rebuke the spring my heart made, finding failure in its scope. As a sick man very near to death seems dead indeed, and feels begin and end the tears, and takes farewell of each friend, and hears one bid the other go, draw a breath freely outside, since all is over, he saith, the blow fall no grieving can amend. While some discuss if near other graves be room enough for this, one a day suits best for carrying the corpse away, with care about banners, scarfs, and staves, and still the man hears all and only craves, he may not shame such tender love and stay. Thus I had for so long suffered in this quest, heard failure prophesied so oft being writ, so many times among the band to wit, the knights who to our tower search or dress their steps, that just as fail as they seem best, and all doubt was now should I be fit. So quiet as despair I turned from him, that hateful cripple, out of his highway into the path he pointed. All the day had been a dreary one at best, and dim was settling into its close, yet shot one grim red leer to see the plain catch its stray. For mark, no sooner was I fairly found, pledged the plain after a pace or two, but pausing for bath for the last few, over the safe road 'twas gone, gray plain all round, nothing but plain to the horizon's bound. I must go on, naught else remained to do. So on I went. I think I never saw such starved ignoble nature. Nothing throve, for flowers as well expect a cedar grove. But chortle and spurge, according to their law, might propagate their kind with none to awe, and think a bird being a treasure trove. No, Penry, inertness, and grimace, in some strange sort were the land's portion. See or close your eyes, said nature peevishly. It nothing skills, I can't help my case. 'Tis last judgment's fire must cure this place. Calcine its clods and set my prisoners free. If there pushed any ragged thistle stalk above its mates, its head was chopped. The bents were jealous elves, what made the holes and rents in the dog's harsh sore sleeves bruised as to balk all hope of greenness. 'Tis a brute must walk, passion their life out with a brute's intents. As for the grass, it grew as scarce as hair in leprosy. Thin, dry blades pricked mud which underneath looked kneaded up with blood. One stiff, blind horse, his every bone a stare, stood stupefied however he came there, thrust out past service from the devil's stud. Alive, he might be dead for aught I know, with red gaunt and calloped neck astrain, and shut eyes beneath the rusty mane. Seldom went such grotesqueness with such woe. I never saw a brute I hated so. He must have been wicked to deserve such pain. I shut my eyes and turned them on my heart, as a man calls for wine before he fights. I asked one draft of happier earlier fights. If fitly I could play the part, think first, fight afterwards, the soldier's art. One taste of old times sets all to rights. Not it. I fancied Cuthbert's reddening face beneath its garniture of curly gold. Dear fellow, till I almost felt him fold. An arm in mine that fits me to that place. That way he used, alas, one night's disgrace. How at my heart's blue fire it left me cold. Giles then, the soul of honor, there he stands. Like this 10 years ago, one night at first. An honest man should dare, he said he durst. Good, but the scene shifts. Fall, what hand in his hand, pinned to his breast department. His own band music, poor traitor spits upon a curse. Better this present than past like that, back therefore to my darkening path. No sound will sight as far as the eye can strain, will the night send a howl or a bad ass, when something on the dismal flat came to arrest my thoughts and change their train. Some little river crossed my path, as unexpected as a serpent came, no tides congenial to the glooms. This, as it frothed by, might have been a bath, the fiend's going hoof, to see the wrath of its black eddies be spat with flakes and spoons. so petty yet so spiteful. All along, low scrubby alders kneeled over it. Drenched willows flung them headlong, the fate of rout despair, the suicidal throng. The river which had done them all the wrong, whatever that was, rolled by to turn no whit. Which while I forded, good saints, how I feared to set my foot upon a dead man's cheek. Each step or feel the spear I thrust to seek, for hollows tangled in his hair or beard. It may have been a water rat I speared, but ugh, it sounded like a baby shriek. Glad was I to reach the other bank, now for a better country. Vain presage, who were the strugglers? What war did they wage? Whose savage trampled with us pad the dank soil to a plash? Toads in a poisoned tank, or wild cats in a red-hot cage? The fight must so have seemed in that foul cirque. What penned them there with all the plain to choose? No footsteps leading through that horrid muse. None out of it, mad Druid set to work their graves, no doubt, like galley slaves a Turk pits for his pastime Christians against Jews. And more than that, a furlong on, why there, what bad use was that engine for? That wheel, or brake not wheel, that harrow fit to reel men's bodies out like silk, with all the air of Tophet's tool, on earth left unaware, or brought to sharpen its rusty teeth of steel. Then came some stump ground, once a wood, next a marsh it would seem, now mere earth, desperate and done with, so the fool finds mirth, makes a thing and mars it, till his mood changes and off he goes, within a rude bog, clay and marsh, sand and stark black dearth. Now blotches rankling colored gay and grim, now patches where some leanness of the soils broke through moss or substances like boils. Then came a palsy note, a cleft in him, a distorted mouth that splits its rim, gaping at death and dies while it coils. As far as ever from the end, not in the distance but the evening nod, to point my footsteps further at the thought, great black bird, Apollyon's bosom's friend, sailed past, nor beat his wide wings dragon-penned, that brushed my cap, perchance the guide I sought. For looking up where I somehow grew, the plain had given place all round to mountains with such names, the great severe heights and heaps now stole in view. How thus they surprised me, solve it you, how to get from there was no clearer case. Yet half I seemed to recognize some trick of mischief had happened to me. God knows when, in a bad dream perhaps, here ended then progress its way, when in the very nick of giving up one more time came the click, as when the trap shuts you're in the den. Burningly it came upon me all at once. This was the place. Those two hills crouched like two bulls locked horn in fight, while to the left a tall scalp mountain, dunce doddered a dozing at the very nunce after a lifetime of training for the sight. One in the midst lay but the tower itself, the round squat turret, blind as a fool's heart, built of brown stone without a counterpart the whole world. The tempest mocking out points the shipman thus the unseen shelf he strikes on only when timbers start. Not seen, because of night perhaps, why day came back for that. Behind it left the dying sunset kindled to a cleft. The hills like two giants in the hunting lay, chin upon hand to see the game at bay, now stab and then the creature to the heft. Not here, when noise was everywhere it told, increasing like a bell, names in my ears, of lost adventurers, my peers, how such was strong and such was bold, and such was fortunate, yet each of old, lost, one moment knelled the woe of years. There they stood, ranged along the hillside met, to view the last of me, a living frame, for one more picture in a sheet of flame. I saw them and knew them all, and yet, dauntless a slughorn to my lips I set, and blew, child Roland to a dark tower came. Good morning, welcome to the stream. My name's Steven, baking bagels, reciting poetry, telling stories. I have a limited repertoire, unfortunately, so I do the same stories every morning, and the same poems, but I'm slowly expanding my repertoire. Slowly expanding. Welcome. Hello, Space 67. Just flipping some bagels. Flip, flip, flippy, flip. Let me tell you a little bit about bagel baking. So these are Montreal style bagels, which means that they're a little bit smaller than New York style. They have a crisper, harder crust. It's like a sort of cracker. When you bite into a Montreal style bagel, it should crunch. Your first bite should be crunchy. So it's a crunchy crust. It's a dense, chewy, not doughy, chewy. If it's doughy, your baker has done something wrong. It should be chewy. So a nice crisp crust with a chewy crumb. And these ones are a little bit smaller and a little bit sweeter than New York style. New York style tend to be really big, sort of a smallish hole. They're a little bit, their crust isn't as crunchy, and they tend to be like a lot softer, more like they puff up a lot more. I don't know. I like them both. But I tend to eat Montreal style bagel more often because I bake them all day long. So. I'm not actually sure where you would be able to buy them. I guess like the bagels you get at like Tim Hortons or Starbucks would be like, they would probably be like New York style. They're not like a Montreal style bagel. Although I've actually never had a bagel at Starbucks or Tim Hortons, so I'm actually not sure if they're New York style or not. So our bagels are baked. We boil them first, and there's honey added to the water. Then we put them on mahogany boards, and we put them in the oven into a deck oven, fire deck oven. was once a rich man who had just one son, and the boy was dearly loved by his father. As everybody knows, the greatest scourge on earth for a rich man is work. Therefore, when his son turned 14, the father decided to send him to school to learn the science of laziness. On the same street as the rich man, there lived a famous and highly respected professor who'd never done a lick of work in his life he could get out of doing. The rich man called on him and found him stretched out in the garden under a fig tree with a cushion under his head, a cushion under his back, and a cushion under his buttocks. Before talking to him, I must first see how he does, said the rich man to himself, and he hid behind a hedge to observe the man. The professor lay as still as a corpse with his eyes closed. The only time he moved was whenever he heard the thud of a ripe fig falling on the ground near where he lay. He'd reach slowly out, bring the fruit to his mouth, and swallow it. Then he wouldn't stir again until another fig fell. This is just the professor my son needs, decided the rich man. And he came out from his hiding place, introduced himself, and asked the professor to teach his son the science of laziness. Old man, answered the professor just above a whisper, don't talk so much. It tires me to listen to you. If you want to bring your son up as you and I are, just send him to me. So the rich man went home, took his son by the hand, thrust a feathered pillow under his arm, and led him through the garden. I urge you, he told him, to do everything you see this professor of idleness do. The boy, who already had an inclination for that particular science, also stretched out under the fig tree. Observing his teacher, he saw him reach for every fig that fell, put it into his mouth and swallow it. Why should I work myself to death reaching for figs, he thought. He lay there with his mouth wide open. Soon a fig fell into his mouth. He let it go down slowly. Then another fig fell, this time with mist. He lay there perfectly still and murmured, why so wide of the mark? Fig fall into my mouth. Seeing how wise his pupil already was, the professor said, go on now. You have nothing to learn from me. You can even teach me something. So the boy went home. To his father, who thanked heaven for having given him such a smart son. Hola, good morning. So I'm having a quiet morning right now. Quiet moment, I should say. Having a quiet moment this morning. Sorry for the wobbly camera. It's attached to my table, so which happens to be a wobbly table. Hello. It's my job. I sense some sarcasm in your comment. Oh, maybe you're being ingenuous, I don't know. We're making bagels, actually. A little bit different than bread. I have made bread. It's a very different process to making bagels. So. Oh, okay, good. Okay. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what sarcasm is when in a comment. So I guess I shouldn't just assume. Yeah. Oh, okay. I just thought because I wasn't saying anything that you were being a little bit sardonic. Sardonic. Sardonical. I don't think that's a word. Sardonic is a word. Sardonical. Sardonical sounds a little ridiculous. I'm sure it's perfectly acceptable. Satirical. No, I meant sardonic is a word. It seems. I think it means the same thing as sarcastic. It's a synonym. Might have a few different other connotations. Gonna pull my next batch out of the water. Okay. Where are you from? Well, I'm in Vancouver, if you're wondering. Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Not Vancouver, Washington. The other Vancouver. Steaming bagels. Romania. Oh, okay, nice. I'm making Montreal style bagels. I like to say Montreal bagels, Vancouver style. Yeah, Washington It's not a city. I don't think it's a city. It might just be like a town or something like that. I was reading an article about it, and there's some kind of like hate group there right now. Seems like America right now is just full of hate groups, white supremacists and white nationalists. Like, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? We've already been through this once, haven't we? Do we have to go through it again? A bunch of deluded, anti-scientific weirdos. I shouldn't raise the ire of the alt-right right now, though. They seem pretty belligerent. So I'm just rambling about nothing right now. So. Yeah, you're probably right. Romania. I know nothing about Romania, unfortunately. I know that I don't know anything about Romania. Sorry. So all I know is it's in Eastern Europe, I think. I'm pretty bad with European geography. I could probably point at France, Spain, and Britain on a map. Germany. All the big ones, but none of the smaller ones. Oh yeah, Eastern Europe, okay. I don't know Romania's national anthem. I should look it up on Google. I'll try to learn it on my recorder. Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, that's what I thought. I had a general impression of where it was in the world. Probably wouldn't be able to point exactly out on a map, but I could point it to the general area where it is. It's easy to point at Canada on a map because it covers a lot of the map. So. Everybody loves Canada, except for Donald Trump. Oh yeah. Nice. Everybody loves Canada. I'm glad I'm relaxing. Are you saying my stream's relaxing? That's nice. It's sort of the gentle hum of the oven. Sort of machine ASMR. What time is it in Romania right now? It is currently 4:43. 4:44. Just turned 4:44 here. Oh, okay. 2. Wow. Nice. You're up early. Or late, I guess. Nice. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Thanks for watching. You're the only one watching currently. Oh yeah, wow. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. 14. Yeah, you're in the afternoon. For some reason, I was thinking it's the morning. But I'm not used to looking at a 24-hour clock for some reason. Yeah, but that's 2:43 in the afternoon. Wow. Yeah, that's it's quite the time difference. 10 hours, yeah. Montreal style bagels. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's nice to watch the glow of the oven in the morning. It's like watching the Fire Channel at Christmas time. My stream has it all. My stream has it all. It has poetry, bagels, ASMR, machine ASMR, flames for your pyromaniacal desires. The fire, yeah, we're the Fire Channel. We got it all here. You don't have to watch anything else if you watch me, because you're watching it all. You're getting the full meal deal here. The Happy Meal. It's the Happy Meal here. Here, hang on. Pretty good. Goldie brown. Goldilocks brown. That's what you're looking for. The Goldilocks brown. Nice blondie brown, that's what you look for. And a good bagel. Gonna do the Fire Be Like. Have you ever watched David Lynch's Twin Peaks? Fire walk with me. Fire walk with me. I love David Lynch. He's one of my favorite directors. When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them to another, and assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal stations to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect of the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To secure these rights, governments instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the governed, and whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and institute new government, laying its foundations on such principles, and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to effect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light or transient causes. And experience accordingly has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer when evils are sufferable than right themselves by altering their former systems of government. Holy, what do you just right here? Wow, that's a lot of that's some stuff. I'll have to read it again. Oh my God. Somebody's philosophizing here. My. Okay, we're gonna take this batch out. Biatch. Take this biatch out. This biatch of multigrain. Biatch. Let's take this biatch out. Ah, almost lost my spoon. Oh. Interesting. I don't really have a desire to play Minecraft, but I've been watching people play Dragon Quest Builders. For some reason, I really have. I'm gonna buy the new Nintendo Switch when it comes out. The one that has a better battery and all that kind of stuff. Not the light. I'm not getting the light. Yeah, I want to play Dragon Quest Builders for some reason. I'm gonna stream that shit. I'm gonna be like a Dragon Quest Builder streamer. It's gonna be my career. My career after baking. I'm gonna be a Dragon Quest Builder streamer. It's my next career goal. Where was I? I was reciting the Declaration of Independence. Oh, okay, nice. It looks fun. It looks a little bit childish, but I mean, what is life? If not with, you know, the joy of childishness. The joy of childishness. The joy of childlessness. Joy of childlessness. I'm just sort of like randomly rambling right now, sorry. It's too early for humans to be awake. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna be a man-child for the rest of my life. A boy will be a boy. A boy will be a boy. Back in 1 minute. Just give me a second. back. How many do I make? Let me just look here. I got it written down. Today we're gonna bake about 1,000 bagels today. Probably more than that though. Yeah, I am baking for another location today too though. So we're sending, because we're short of one of our bakers quit. We're looking for a replacement baker at another location. So I'm baking for this location and another location because we're short staffed at one location for the time being. So yeah, we're sending bagels there by carrier. So that's our only option currently. We have a courier. We put them in plastic lined boxes. That it's unfortunate we had to do that, but it's the way it is here in Vancouver. It's hard to find enough employees to do this. So. I mean, there's plenty of workers, but it's just a matter of training them and keeping them. Recruitment's probably the easy part. Retention is the difficult issue. Retention. Oh, it's 5 o'clock here in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. Break today. Oh, thanks. Yeah, this is a different location. If you're wondering, it's different looking. I'm doing good, thank you. I'm baking at a different location. On weekends, I bake at on Commercial Drive, which is nice because it's close to my house. Yeah, this table's a little bit lower, I think, and yeah. You can see, you can't quite see what I'm doing in the oven, but it's a little bit, the angle's a little bit better. You can see what's going on in the oven a little bit better, I think. Yeah, sure, I'll show you. So these bagels are on the boards. I'm gonna flip them onto the deck here in a minute or so, and then those ones are just browning on one side, and I'll flip them and I'll brown them on the other side. That's the oven. It's a pretty big oven. I wonder, maybe I can leave you here. I'll try to. I don't know if that's a good angle. I think it gets too hot. It gets too hot by the oven, so I'm not gonna leave it there. I've tried to put the oven or the camera close to the oven, but it overheats and then my camera shuts off. It's sort of funny. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. I gotta do this first. Yeah, sorry about that. It was probably just sort of a wobbly excursion there. A wobbly excursion. Oh, maybe my Wi-Fi connection's better. I think that Wi-Fi connection up in Lonsdale is not that great, so I don't know. Maybe I just got better rest last night. That's why I'm higher resolution. I'm more rested. Somebody needs to design an oven that runs on garbage. And then we could like bake bagels in a garbage burning oven. It wouldn't be like you'd want to like convert that garbage to methane or something. I don't know. But yeah. And then I could open a bagel chain called Garbage Fire Bagels, and I'm sure it'd be a hit. It'd be very popular, I'm sure. Garbage Fire Bagels, like sort of like Cabbage Patch Kids or whatever. Garbage Pail Kids. Elon Musk needs to design a garbage burning oven. And then we'll just start burning ocean plastic and stuff like that to make bagels. We'll harvest the ocean for plastic. It'll be fuel for our ovens. Garbage Fire Bagels. You want to call it? I'm trying to be the Elon Musk of baking here. Trying to disrupt the bakery industry. I think that's a good idea though. If you could make an oven that runs on like fuel that comes from some kind of waste product, so that we're not burning a fossil fuel. Instead, we're using something that is going to waste, but something that would otherwise go to waste. We could reuse it as a resource rather than letting it go to waste or become pollution. I'm not sure if I should advertise that they're baked in garbage fire though. I wake up at 2. Actually 1:30. 1:30 is when I usually wake up. I try to sleep 6 hours before my shift, and then I try to get 2 hours later after my shift. So I try to get 8 hours sleep, but I just sort of divide it up into 2. Only 15 more minutes, 20 minutes in the stream, I guess. Yeah. Thanks for watching today. We'll probably be back tomorrow morning, same location. I gotta end the stream because I gotta look at my phone. I gotta bake an order. I gotta bake for an order today, and I'm not sure exactly what the order is, so I have to look at my phone to find out. So I'll necessarily have to end the stream in a few minutes. Necessarily. No, I guess like Eastern Canada got a bit of a heat wave, but no, it hasn't been too bad here in Vancouver. Vancouver got, like, we've gotten up to like 30, the highest temperature I've noticed is about 30 degrees Celsius. Sorry if you're in Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but yeah. So no, it hasn't been terribly hot here. The last few years we've had problems with smoke from wildfires, and this year's actually been pretty good. Last year and the year before were really bad for smoke in the air. Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, that's what Americans are silly. Why do they use Fahrenheit? I don't know. I don't know. Just to be different, I guess. Just to be exceptional. Americans always have to feel like they're exceptional. That they're more relevant than everybody else. American exceptionalism. Canadians think that shit's funny because, like, 'cause it is. Nice. Thank you for watching. Canadians find that stuff funny because we look at ourselves as being a very unexceptional people. When in true reality, we actually are pretty exceptional. We're just sort of, we have some humility about that kind of stuff. Those are looking pretty good. I can take those out. I'm making bagels. Bagels. Montreal style bagels. Making Montreal style bagels. Yeah, this is my job. I've been doing this for almost 6 years now, if you can believe it or not. If you're Ripley, you can believe it or not. Yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. God damn is right. It's the right phrase to use. No, I love bagels. I eat them almost every day. There's more to my job than just making bagels. There's like you know, dealing with people and managing crises. Oh, excuse me. Oh, it's time for some coffee. I don't know where I'm getting. This location. I don't know where to get coffee. There's a Starbucks up the road, but it's too far away. And there's a Tim Hortons a little bit closer, but I'm not a huge fan of Tim Hortons. I think I might have to do Tim Hortons anyway, so. I gotta get some caffeine into my system. It is currently 20 past 5. I've been doing this since I got here at 2:30. I started baking at 3:30, so it's been almost 2 hours of baking. I had a moment of fatigue there. I'm actually feeling pretty good. Near the end of my work week here. I have one more day after this, and then have some days off. Oh yeah, yeah. Bakers wake up early. I woke up 2:30 a.m. Yeah, 2:30 a.m. Or I started at 2:30 a.m. I got up at 1:30. I like this job. I'm a morning person, and I guess I'm sort of a morning and evening person. Part of the day that I hate the most is the afternoon. So that's it's nice because I work in the morning and then I get off and I sleep in the afternoon. Yeah, we're the superheroes. Our superpowers are we can wake up early in the morning, we can tolerate high heat and burns. Those are our superpowers. We can shoot flaming bagels from our hands or something. I don't know. We're super. Those are our those are the baker's superhero powers. Explosive bagels, something, I don't know. We have the power of waking up early without feeling tired and complaining constantly. And we have extra durable skin, so we can tolerate heat and flame and other hot things. And we can shoot flaming bagels from our hands. Yeah, we're making bagels. Ice Sigma, welcome to the stream. We are baking the bagels today. Bagels, bagels, everyone loves bagels. Bagels, bagels. Won't you eat one too? Bagels. I can check the other side. Yeah, these are looking good. It's looking good. Clippy the bagel. Yeah, bagels are, they seem to be more popular over here in North America. Just about all of our fast food places offer bagels. Like, you can get a bagel at McDonald's. You can get a bagel at Tim Hortons. You can get a bagel at Starbucks. Like all the big chains sell bagels. So yeah, they're pretty popular over here. And then there's lots and lots of like smaller places that sell bagels. We do Montreal style bagel, which means that they're compared to a New York style bagel, which you're probably more familiar with. A New York style bagel has a harder crust and a chewier crumb, and it's a little bit heartier, sweeter, and denser, I guess you'd say. Has a little bit of crunch when you bite into it, whereas a New York style bagel, they're like sort of soft, fluffy, and big and bready. I like them both, but I tend to eat more the Montreal style bagel just because I make them. So we bake them. We use a sort of a traditional technique of baking them. We use traditionally you'd use a wood fire oven, but this is a gas fire oven on a stone deck. And we put them in the oven on boards so that they don't stick on the deck. So I'm just sort of rambling. I feel a little bit mumbly today. Mumbly. I didn't get a very good sleep last night. I had somebody come by to look at. I'm renting out an apartment room in my house that I live in, and. We came by to look at the room. Yeah, the seeds do help, but they, yeah. So like you could probably throw a bagel in that has seeds on it and it wouldn't stick. But if they don't have seeds on them, they stick immediately. Yeah, it's too bad. I actually don't feel too bad. I shouldn't complain. I'm doing okay. Got a pretty good start to the day. Yeah, it's tough. I'm pretty used to these hours though, so. It's the life of a baker. The life of a baker. Thanks to whoever, somebody gave me a tip yesterday, or the day before. I'm very thankful. I appreciate your generosity. Thank you. Vape Nation Baker. Vape. Yeah. Please don't feel obligated. I am already making a living after all. I'm an employed individual. So yeah, but it was nice. It was nice. It was a pleasant surprise to see a donation in my PayPal account. It was the first one, the first donation. Yeah, yeah. It's I don't know. Maybe it was. Yeah, it was probably somebody. It didn't give their like username when it was submitted, so I don't know. But yeah, I appreciate it. It was a heartwarming surprise. I like the tipping economy. I get paid tips here as well from customers, and I don't know. I like getting paid in tips. It's nice to have like pocket money, so it's funny. I'm making bagels. B-A-G-E-L-S. B-A-G-E-L-S bagels. B-A-G-E-L-S. Bagels. B-A-G-E-L-S. Bagels. Yeah, that's what I heard. That you don't do tips in Australia. It sort of makes sense, I guess. If somebody like, if it allows a company to pay a lower wage, then it's I don't think it's I don't like a tip shouldn't be a substitute for being paid a living wage. Everybody should earn a living wage. A tip is just something that's on top of that. It's like it's an extra way of showing your gratitude, right? For something that somebody's done that is exceptional. But it needs to be exceptional. I think that like tipping can be a little bit. It can become a little bit mandatory or obligatory. I think it should be only. You should only tip somebody if you really feel like they've done something that is exceptional, or that you appreciate greatly. I guess I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it does seem. It does. I think it does seem pretty obligatory, and which for customers isn't very. I don't think that's not the right way to treat customers. You shouldn't ever make customers feel like they're obliged to do something, right? You want people to have choices. Choices are the most important thing in life. Being able to choose your identity, your career, whether or not you tip somebody, it's all about choices. And a society that takes away people's choice is a society that doesn't deserve to exist. That's my political rant for today. It's not much of a political rant. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, so like, yeah, I don't know. It should always be a choice, I think. You should never feel like it's an obligation. And it should never be I don't think employees should ever have to rely on tips. Like if you're relying on tips for your livelihood, then there's something wrong with your employer. Your employer is doing something they probably shouldn't be doing. If that is the case. Yeah, I know that's the problem. Is that you know that when your server is not, if you know that your server is not getting paid very well, then there's there's that extra pressure to give them a good tip, and but that's the thing is like servers should be paid well. They should be getting a living wage. So like if you know that they're being paid a living wage, you don't have to the sense of obligation is lessened, I guess. So yeah, I agree. Like, we should always be getting paid a living wage. Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's terrible. That sounds atrocious. Yeah, you should always be making a living wage, I think, and that's why I think that's why the $15 minimum wage is that's a reasonable demand to make of employers that they should all be paying $15 at least, and then tips should be on top of that for exceptional service. It shouldn't be something that is necessary for somebody to live, right? So, but yeah, so I think employers abuse the tip system. So. Exactly, yeah, and like we underpay young people too. Like young people should be able to make it, earn their money and save it, so that they can invest it in their future, in their education or something, right? We underpay young people. That's my opinion. I would have benefited a lot if somebody had given me, if I'd gotten paid better as a young employee. So I agree. It's too bad. Yeah, I know. Waiters get it's unfair when just waiters and waitresses get tips. So thanks for the donation. I'm gonna have to end the stream though here. I think my phone's gonna die. The battery's almost dead. So. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll probably be back tomorrow morning. Hope you have an excellent morning. Have a great day. Yeah, I have an external battery, so I'm gonna just like plug it in here and like charge it up again. So. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Have an excellent morning. Take care. Thank you.